Welcome back to the channel. USA Coins 69, probably held one in your hands without giving it a second thought, maybe dropped it into a vending machine, used it for parking meters, or found it buried in a drawer somewhere. But for coin enthusiasts and collectors, the 1965 quarter is anything but ordinary. This coin marks an important transition in American coinage, and certain mint marks and conditions make it a hidden gem that can be worth far more than its face value. In fact, this seemingly simple piece of change has captivated the attention of collectors who understand that even coins from modern eras can hold extraordinary value if you know what to look for. When you hold a 1965 Washington quarter, the first thing you notice is the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse side. Designed by John Flanagan, Washington's profile has graced the quarter since 1932, celebrating the first president of the United States. Liberty arcs proudly along the top edge. "In God We Trust" sits neatly to the side of the portrait, and the year 1965 is displayed boldly at the bottom. But here's where collectors pay close attention: the mint mark. On coins of this year, the mint mark tells you whether the quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, or San Francisco Mint. This tiny letter, often overlooked by casual observers, can drastically influence the coin's value. Some mint mark varieties are far rarer than others, and collectors hunt for them with almost detective-like precision. Flip the coin over and the reverse features the iconic heraldic eagle with its wings outstretched, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. United States of America is inscribed along the top, with $quarter at the bottom. The design is elegant, balanced, and powerful, and every detail of the eagle's feathers, shield, and talons is carefully examined by collectors. In coins from 1965, the clarity of these details is particularly important. Many of these quarters entered circulation and were heavily handled, leaving wear marks, scratches, and dulling of the once crisp designs. Coins that survive in high-grade condition, with strong strikes and preserved details, are highly sought after. The 1965 Washington quarter is especially intriguing because it represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage. This was the first year the mint shifted from the 90% silver composition used in earlier quarters to a copper-nickel-clad composition. That change means that while these coins are not silver, they are still highly collectible in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. Collectors look for coins with sharp details on Washington's hair, a fully preserved eagle on the reverse, and smooth, untarnished fields. Any flaws, bag marks, or scratches can significantly reduce value, so condition is everything. Coins that were stored in original rolls, albums, or mint sets often survive in exceptional quality and command a premium in the collector market. Even within circulated coins, subtle variations and minting quirks can make a coin stand out. Some 1965 quarters have slight doubling on the letters, minor off-center strikes, or unusual planchet characteristics. These small anomalies, which might seem inconsequential to the untrained eye, can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a rare collectible. Experts scrutinize every detail under magnification, from the edges of the coin to the sharpness of the lettering and the crispness of the design elements. Every tiny feature matters when determining its market value. Collectors also pay attention to the overall luster of the coin. A quarter that has been well preserved will often display a subtle sheen or reflective quality that sets it apart from its circulated counterparts. Coins stored in protective holders, kept away from air, moisture, and handling, retain this quality for decades. When paired with a desirable mint mark, this level of preservation can lead to astonishing values at auction or in private sales. Even casual collectors who discover a single high-grade coin in an old stash can be in for a surprise that turns an overlooked piece of pocket change into a prized treasure. What makes hunting for coins like the 1965 Washington quarter so thrilling is the sense of discovery. Many of these coins remain hidden in estates, old collections, or forgotten coin rolls. Someone might pick up a seemingly ordinary quarter from a jar and, with careful examination, realize that it is a mint state coin with a rare mint mark or flawless surfaces. The excitement comes not just from the coin itself, but from the knowledge that very few people in the world have a piece like it. The 1965 quarter may not have the silver content of earlier coins, but its rarity and condition in uncirculated form make it an impressive find. Over the years, collectors and numismatists have documented cases where these quarters sold for figures far beyond what anyone would expect from a coin minted in 1965. The right coin, perfectly preserved, with a desirable mint mark, and perhaps even a subtle minting anomaly, can attract serious interest from both collectors and investors. Professional grading services are often involved to verify authenticity and condition, which help secure top dollar in auctions and private sales. The anticipation of such a find is what keeps coin enthusiasts eagerly searching through old collections and rolls, always hoping to uncover a hidden gem. Coins like the 1965 Washington quarter remind us that the value of a coin is not just in its metal or face denomination. It's in its history, its condition, its rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Every mint mark, every detail on the eagle's wings, and every line on Washington's profile tells a story. A coin that has survived the passage of decades in exceptional condition represents a tangible connection to the past, a small piece of American history that can be held in your hand and admired for both its beauty and significance. For anyone who comes across one of these quarters, the key is careful examination. Look at the date, check the mint mark, study the design details, and consider the coin's preservation. Even if it looks ordinary at first, it could be an extraordinary find that elevates a collection to a whole new level. Today, preservation factors that can make it extremely valuable. While the average quarter might be dismissed as ordinary pocket change, those who know what to look for understand that the 1971 Washington quarter has the potential to be a hidden treasure that can turn into a life-changing find for the right collector. From the moment you hold it, the obverse demands attention with the familiar and iconic profile of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, Washington's profile has adorned the quarter since 1932, and the 1971 edition continues that legacy with bold detail. Liberty is inscribed elegantly across the top, and the motto "In God We Trust" is tucked neatly to the side of Washington's profile. Below, the date 1971 is clearly displayed, and just above it, the small but essential mint mark indicates the coin's origin: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. That tiny letter often seems insignificant to casual observers, but to collectors, it's the key that unlocks a coin's value. A Denver or San Francisco mint mark in pristine condition can elevate a coin from being a common piece of change to a sought-after collectible worth serious money. Flip the coin over, and the reverse design captures attention with the familiar heraldic eagle. Its wings are spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both strength and peace. United States of America is engraved along the top rim, with $quarter resting at the bottom. Every feather, every line of the shield, and even the tips of the arrows are scrutinized by collectors who know that a strong, sharp strike significantly increases a coin's value. Many quarters from 1971 saw heavy circulation, which means that the eagle's feathers are often flattened, the rims are worn, and the once crisp details have been dulled over time. Coins that have survived in near-mint state, however, are exceedingly rare, and it is these pristine examples that attract serious collectors and investors. What makes the 1971 quarter even more fascinating is the story of its preservation and rarity. Because millions of these coins were minted for circulation, most ended up in pockets, cash registers, and coin rolls. Over time, they developed the wear and tear expected of coins in daily use. But a lucky few were tucked away in protective albums, stored in safes, or forgotten in mint sets, leaving them virtually untouched for decades. These survivors often retain their original luster, sharp strike, and flawless surfaces. Coins that appear ordinary to the untrained eye can reveal remarkable detail and quality to a collector who knows what to examine. Subtle variations in minting and minor errors can make certain 1971 quarters even more desirable. Some coins show off-center strikes, weak strikes, or tiny doubling in the lettering. Others might display slight planchet irregularities that give them a unique appeal. Even the smallest anomalies, such as doubled devices on Washington's profile or slight misalignment on the eagle, can dramatically increase the coin's worth. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare finds, because a coin with a combination of flawless preservation and a subtle minting peculiarity is a treasure that can command attention at auctions and in private sales. condition is paramount when it comes to valuation. A coin that has never circulated and retains sharp details across both the obverse and reverse is often graded in the top MS, mint state, categories. High-grade examples show perfect rims, vibrant luster, and flawless fields without any scratches, nicks, or bag marks. Even the tiniest imperfection can lower the value, which is why collectors prize coins that have remained untouched and perfectly preserved for decades. Some of these coins have been stored so well that they appear almost as if they were freshly struck, and when authenticated by professional grading services, they can command incredible prices. The thrill of finding a 1971 Washington quarter in exceptional condition is compounded by its accessibility. Unlike older coins from the early 1900s, which can be extremely rare and difficult to locate, the 1971 quarter was minted in large quantities, meaning there's always a chance to discover an uncirculated gem in an old collection, coin jar, or estate find. This sense of discovery is what keeps collectors searching through rolls, old albums, and even family heirlooms. You never know when a coin that has been overlooked for decades might turn out to be worth thousands. The 1971 Washington quarter also offers a lesson in the importance of careful observation and knowledge. Every detail matters: the crispness of Washington's hair, the clarity of the Liberty letters, the precision of the eagle's feathers, and even the mint mark's placement can all influence the coin's value. A quarter that looks ordinary at first glance could reveal itself as extraordinary under magnification, and experienced collectors know how to identify these subtle indicators of rarity and high quality. Over the years, auctions and private sales have shown that high-grade 1971 quarters with desirable mint marks can fetch impressive sums. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay top dollar for coins that meet the rare combination of pristine preservation, strong strike, and subtle minting uniqueness. These coins are not just collectible, they are investments, historical artifacts, and prized additions to any serious collection. They serve as a reminder that even coins that circulated in everyday life can, with the right conditions and preservation, become treasures of incredible value. Today, intrigue that most people never notice. While it may not carry the historic aura of early 20th century coins, this year's quarter represents a fascinating period in U.S. coinage, and certain mint marks and conditions can make it a highly sought-after treasure. What seems like ordinary change in your pocket could, in the right hands and under the right circumstances, be worth a small fortune. When you pick up a 1978 Washington quarter, the first thing you notice is the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. His profile, facing left, has been the face of the quarter since 1932, and the 1978 edition continues that legacy with striking detail. Liberty arches boldly across the top, while the motto "In God We Trust" sits neatly beside Washington's profile. The year 1978 appears prominently at the bottom, and just above it, the tiny but crucial mint mark indicates the coin's origin. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, and no mint mark for Philadelphia may seem like minor details, but in the collector's world, they can completely alter a coin's value. Certain mint mark variations are far rarer in uncirculated or near-perfect condition and can draw intense attention from collectors and investors alike. Turning the coin over, the reverse presents the classic heraldic eagle, wings outstretched, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. United States of America arches along the top, with $quarter stamped across the bottom. Every detail of the eagle's feathers, the shield on its chest, and the tips of the arrows is carefully examined by collectors. Coins from 1978 circulated widely, which means that many examples show wear, scratches, or flattened details. But coins that survived untouched, with sharp strikes and pristine surfaces, stand out like jewels among ordinary change. The contrast between a heavily circulated coin and one that has retained its original brilliance is astounding, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have been preserved in exceptional condition. What makes the 1978 Washington quarter particularly fascinating is its combination of accessibility and rarity. Millions of these coins were minted, which means they were everywhere in daily transactions. Yet finding one that has survived unscathed, with its original luster and sharp details, is surprisingly rare. Many coins were tucked away in old mint sets, coin albums, or forgotten safes, escaping circulation entirely. These coins often retain the mirror-like fields and crisp strike quality that collectors dream of. Even small imperfections, like minor scratches or faint bag marks, can significantly reduce the value, which makes discovering an untouched coin so exciting. Collectors also pay attention to subtle minting anomalies that can dramatically increase a coin's worth. Some 1978 quarters display slight doubling of letters, weak strikes, or minor planchet imperfections. Even features that are nearly invisible to the casual eye can transform an ordinary-looking coin into a rare collectible. A tiny misalignment in the design, a double die effect, or unusual metal characteristics can elevate a coin from common to highly prized. These rare features, combined with exceptional preservation, make certain 1978 quarters stand out in the numismatic world. The thrill of discovery is a big part of what makes collecting coins like the 1978 Washington quarter so addictive. Many high-grade coins remain hidden in old collections, stashed away by previous generations who had no idea of their potential value. Opening a forgotten roll of quarters, an old mint set, or even a family heirloom can reveal a coin in near-perfect condition that catches the eye of collectors worldwide. The excitement isn't just in the coin's rarity, it's the story behind it, the journey it has survived, and the fact that it has retained its original beauty for decades. Condition is everything when it comes to valuation. Coins that are uncirculated and free from scratches, dents, or discoloration are graded at the highest levels by professional services. The luster of these coins, their mirror-like fields, and the sharpness of every detail on both the obverse and reverse make them highly desirable. Even a single 1978 Washington quarter with a flawless strike and the right mint mark can command a price that far exceeds what most people imagine for a coin from this era. The 1978 quarter also demonstrates the subtle beauty of modern coinage. Its clean design, precise detailing, and enduring legacy make it a favorite among collectors who appreciate coins beyond their metal content. While it may not carry the historical weight of earlier issues, its scarcity in high-grade condition and the excitement of finding one uncirculated make it a true gem. Experienced collectors know that every detail matters, from Washington's hair to the eagle's feathers, the sharpness of the lettering to the precision of the mint mark placement. Coins that meet all of these criteria are treasured, sought after, and often sold for remarkable sums. Even decades later, the 1978 Washington quarter continues to fascinate collectors because it represents both a piece of history and an opportunity. The right coin, with perfect preservation and a rare or desirable mint mark, is more than a collectible, it's an investment, a work of art, and a tangible connection to the past. Coins like these often show up unexpectedly, whether in old rolls, albums, or collections, and when they do, they remind us that treasure can be hiding in the most ordinary places. Today, that sits at the intersection of modern circulation and serious collecting interest, and certain mint marks and conditions can make it a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. While a casual observer might see just another piece of pocket change, a careful collector sees a coin with potential, an opportunity to hold a small but significant piece of American history in their hand. At first glance, the obverse of the 1979 Washington quarter commands attention with the iconic portrait of George Washington. This design, created by John Flanagan, has graced the quarter since 1932, and the 1979 edition continues that legacy with remarkable detail. Liberty is prominently inscribed along the top, and the motto "In God We Trust" sits neatly beside Washington's profile. The date 1979 appears clearly at the bottom, and just above it, the mint mark indicates where the coin was struck. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia may appear small, but to collectors, it is one of the most important aspects of the coin. Mint marks can drastically affect the rarity and value of a coin, especially in uncirculated or high-grade examples. Certain mint mark variations from this year are far less common than others, and collectors pursue them with the kind of determination often reserved for truly rare coins. The reverse of the coin presents the classic heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. United States of America curves along the top, while quarter dollar arcs along the bottom. Each detail of the eagle, the feathers, shield, and talons, is examined with meticulous care by collectors. Many 1979 quarters entered circulation, resulting in wear, scratches, and flattened details over time. However, those that survived untouched, maintaining their original strike and luster, are incredibly rare. High-grade examples almost seem to leap out from the coin jar or album, with the eagle's feathers sharp, the lettering crisp, and the field smooth and reflective. What makes the 1979 quarter especially interesting is the balance between its wide circulation and the rarity of uncirculated specimens. Millions were minted and entered daily use, yet only a small percentage were preserved carefully, tucked away in protective holders, mint sets, or private collections. These coins escaped the wear and tear of pocket circulation, maintaining the sharp strike and original finish that collectors prize. A coin in near-perfect condition from this year can be worth exponentially more than a typical circulated example, making careful observation and preservation the key to discovering a hidden treasure. Subtle variations and minting anomalies can also dramatically increase a coin's desirability. Some 1979 quarters exhibit slight doubling of letters, minor off-center strikes, or planchet irregularities. Even tiny anomalies that are hard to detect with the naked eye can turn an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. The rarity and uniqueness of these features attract collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for the most pristine and unusual examples. Every line on Washington's hair, every feather on the eagle, and even the placement of the mint mark is scrutinized to determine the coin's market value. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. Coins that are uncirculated or nearly flawless, free from scratches, dents, discoloration, or bag marks, are graded in the highest MS, mint state, categories. Luster, sharp strike, and field clarity all contribute to the coin's appeal. Even a minor imperfection can reduce its value, so collectors search diligently for coins that retain their original beauty. A 1979 quarter in exceptional condition is not just a coin, it is a work of art, a piece of history, and an investment all in one. The thrill of discovering such a coin is part of what makes collecting quarters like the 1979 Washington quarter so exciting. Many high-grade examples remain hidden in old collections, inherited coin boxes, or even forgotten rolls. Opening a box of coins from a previous generation can reveal a coin that has been untouched for decades, and the moment a collector realizes its quality and rarity is a moment of pure excitement. Coins like this remind us that treasures are sometimes hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone knowledgeable enough to recognize their worth. Even decades after they were minted, the 1979 Washington quarter continues to captivate collectors because it combines accessibility, rarity, and condition. While it may not carry the historical prestige of coins from the early 20th century, it rewards those who know what to look for: sharp detail, flawless fields, perfect luster, and a desirable mint mark. When paired with these qualities, even a coin from a modern era can fetch incredible prices and generate excitement among collectors worldwide. Today, vending machines, used for parking meters, or tucked away in old coin jars. At first glance, it may appear ordinary, even mundane. But for collectors and coin enthusiasts, this coin is far from just pocket change. It represents a fascinating slice of U.S. coinage history and, in the right condition with the right mint mark, can become a highly sought-after treasure. While most quarters from this era circulated widely and endured the wear and tear of everyday use, some survived in pristine condition, and those examples are the ones that truly capture the attention of collectors worldwide. The obverse of the 1986 Washington quarter is immediately recognizable, featuring the familiar profile of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. This portrait has graced the quarter since 1932 and continues to captivate collectors with its detailed design. Liberty stretches across the top of the coin, and "In God We Trust" sits prominently beside Washington's profile. At the bottom, the year 1986 is stamped clearly, and just above it, the mint mark indicates the coin's origin: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. This tiny letter, often overlooked by casual observers, is crucial for collectors. Certain mint marks are far rarer in uncirculated condition and can dramatically increase the coin's value. Coins with the right combination of preservation and mint mark are highly prized and sought after in auctions and private collections. flipping the coin over, the reverse presents the iconic heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. United States of America is engraved along the top, with $quarter at the bottom. Every detail of the eagle, from the fine lines of the feathers to the sharp edges of the arrows, is important to collectors. In circulated coins, these details are often worn down, but in high-grade examples, they remain crisp and striking, enhancing the coin's appeal. A quarter that retains the full detail of both the obverse and reverse is a rare find, and it is precisely these coins that drive collector interest. What makes the 1986 Washington quarter particularly fascinating is the balance between accessibility and rarity. Millions were minted and entered circulation, meaning they were part of everyday life across the country. Yet only a small percentage were carefully preserved, tucked away in protective holders, mint sets, or personal collections. These coins escaped the normal wear of circulation, retaining the luster, crisp strike, and flawless fields that collectors prize. Even small imperfections, such as minor scratches or faint bag marks, can reduce a coin's value, which makes discovering a coin in uncirculated condition all the more exciting. Subtle minting anomalies can also make a 1986 quarter extraordinary. Some coins exhibit slight doubling in letters, off-center strikes, or unique planchet variations. Even minor deviations that are barely noticeable can significantly increase a coin's desirability. Collectors scrutinize every detail under magnification: Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, the sharpness of the lettering, and the placement of the mint mark, to assess the coin's potential value. Coins that combine flawless preservation with rare minting quirks often become the centerpiece of a collection and can command top dollar in the market. Condition is the most important factor in determining the value of a 1986 Washington quarter. Coins that are uncirculated and free from scratches, dents, discoloration, or other imperfections are graded in the highest mint state categories. These coins often display a subtle luster that reflects light across the fields, making them visually striking and highly desirable. The difference between a circulated coin and an uncirculated one can be astounding, with pristine examples attracting serious collectors and investors willing to pay premium prices. Part of the thrill of collecting coins like the 1986 Washington quarter lies in the hunt. Many high-grade examples remain hidden in old collections, mint sets, or even forgotten rolls. The excitement of discovering a coin that has survived untouched for decades is a core reason collectors are passionate about this hobby. Even a coin that appears ordinary at first glance can turn out to be exceptional, revealing sharp details, perfect luster, and the rare right mint mark that transforms it into a treasure. The 1986 quarter is also a reminder that even coins from the modern era can hold significant value. While it may not have the historical gravitas of early 20th century coins, its scarcity in uncirculated condition, potential minting anomalies, and the thrill of discovery make it a highly collectible piece. Coins like this are not just items of currency, they are works of art, historical artifacts, and investment pieces all rolled into one. Collectors know that every detail counts: the sharpness of the design, the condition of the fields, and the mint mark placement all factor into its worth. Among the rarest and most perfectly preserved examples of the 1986 Washington quarter with the right mint mark, one sold for an astonishing $90,000.